Welcome to the Bruins Benders Podcast, Season 2, Episode 11. The Butch is back with Maddie and Smitty, brought to you on the Inside the Rink Podcast Network. InsideTheRink.com is your one-stop shop for all your NHL and PHF news, insight, and analysis. Follow on Twitter at inside_the_rink and download the Inside the Rink app to get everything on the website right on your phone. And Smitty has some info about a new partnership with ESPN+.
Yeah, the Bruins will be on ESPN Plus from time to time this season, and you can watch them by signing up for ESPN Plus at InsideTheRink.com website. Not only do you get the most out-of-market hockey games, you get many other sports, including college basketball, college hockey, college football bowl season, and more. So sign up for ESPN Plus at InsideTheRink.com/ESPN. Again, that is ESPN Plus by signing up at InsideTheRink.com/ESPN.
And we are pleased to have a special guest today. Maine Mariners head coach Terrence Wallin joins us. And Coach Wallin, really good to have you on the pod today.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me. It's always nice to talk hockey.
Absolutely, and we're glad to have you. And my first question, the Maine Mariners are back in Portland. They used to be the AHL affiliate back when we were kids, Smitty.
Yep.
And a lot of good Bruins came out of that. And then, of course, the Portland Pirates for many years. Just want you to talk about how the community and the city of Portland, receives the Maine Mariners.
Yeah, I think early on when I was playing here, so 18-19 was the year we came back, and I was traded here that summer. So both the years that I was playing, it felt like almost like a feeling out process in a way. Hockey was back. But then COVID hit, and it felt like people were kind of sick of sitting inside, and people were craving some hockey. So last year our crowds were really good, and you feel the crowd start to increase once football starts. But then we come back this year, and our crowds have been great right off the start. I think we're averaging over 3,200 fans a night, which in our league is pretty solid. That's probably in the middle portion of the league. So it's just continuing to grow, and I think that with our push with youth hockey has been really big. So I think with the youth hockey stuff, our crowds are just going to continue to grow.
In the ECHL, you mentioned it's, really good hockey, but also, you can see some entertainment value there. You can see some fights and some physical hockey and so forth. As a coach, how do you feel about teammates, sticking up for each other? Are there such thing as good penalties? And, when it comes to protecting teammates, is that something as a coach that you talk about as a team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody talks about how the game is changing and how it's getting softer, if you will. I don't know that it's getting softer. I think it's just getting smarter and faster. And while people do love to see the fights and there's still a place in the game for it, I think that like the speed and the skill is so high. And I think you plop any one of our guys into the AHL and they can play a part in the AHL. And at the same time, though, I do think the best teams that win championships in this league and in any league are hard to play against, and they stick up for each other, and they kind of have that family/brotherhood mentality.
Well, that's the way that it should be, I think, and the way that we've seen it done, in years past. With the Mariners affiliation with the Bruins, have you heard from the coaches or the front office about the type of system they want you to play? Like, have you had any, encounters with them, and do you play a similar system to what the Bruins do?
We do play similar styles to the Bruins. I think that the first thing for me, it's a developmental league in the ECHL. And for us, if we have Providence guys down here, you want that transition to be as seamless as possible when the guys get called up. So we do play a lot of similar systems. I think the big ones are how we defend the rush and our D zone. Those are probably the two big ones. And then I think offensively, the skill kind of takes over for the guys. And they're all fast, smart, and skilled enough where they can create their own plays. Obviously, you give them some pointers and some guidelines here and there, but offensively, I like my guys to play free. And then in the summer, even 2 summers ago, when Ben Guite was our head coach and I was assistant, we were in pretty good contact with Providence. We would go to the Boston Bruins development camp. We would kind of dip our toe here and there just to almost hear what the coaches and the staffs were all talking about, so that we could all be on the same page. And I think that has helped a lot in making this a really good affiliation.
Now you mentioned being developmental. Is there a balance there between developing guys and then trying to win games? Is the focus to win games at the end of the day, or are you really just trying to prepare some guys and trying to develop them so they can progress and maybe get to the next level?
Yeah, it's a fine line. I was actually
Yeah.
talking with somebody about this the other day, and I think first and foremost, this needs to be a developmental league. But if you're developing players, that kind of coincides with are you winning?
Mm.
If your players are developing, you're kind of starting to see that growth in a team. And I think the one thing for me, I'm a pretty young and new head coach. For me, I'm always going to be process driven, not results driven. So if we keep drilling the right things into guys' heads and are helping them develop and helping them do the right things, and not just on the ice, kind of taking care of their bodies, how sleep affects them, the mental health portion of the game. I think if we're continuing to drive that stuff and stuff starts to click in guys' heads, then you start to see development, then you start to see wins. And I think it all kind of meshes together.
So, being a young coach, only a few years removed from playing yourself, do you find it easy to relate to players and kind of understand what motivates them and to be able to get the most out of them?
I do. I think that's kind of why you're seeing the wave of a young coach in the ECHL. Um, we've already talked about it a lot. It's a developmental league, and it's a developmental league from a player standpoint. It's a developmental league from a referee standpoint, and at the end of the day, it has to be a developmental league for the coaches. And you're seeing a new young wave, and it's kind of funny. Two of my high school teammates at the Gunnery are head coaches in this league as well, and we're all 30 and 31 years old. So. Um, for us, I think the big thing is that we can like be in these guys' shoes. It's easy for us to know when stuff's down in the dumps, when to push the guys, when to be easy, when to realize, hey, maybe they have to go have a beer with one another, and maybe they need to just hang out. And then there's times where, hey, maybe we do need to have a little harder skate, a little longer skate, and when to push on them that way. So yeah, again, it's kind of a learning curve, but I love it, and I don't think that there's any weirdness because I'm only 30 years old. I think guys kind of respect that and know that me and my assistant have just gone through it.
Now you mentioned the mental health portion of the game. I think as a society, obviously, we're spending a lot of time focusing on it, but also in professional sports, I think there's a lot more attention to it. I guess just talk about I get how that has changed, I guess, since you've been coming up as a player and now as a coach. Is there more focus on it? Do you talk about it freely with players?
Yeah, I talk about it constantly with guys. I think that I found a good quote the other day that said, you need to change your internal story for your external results to improve. And I think that's kind of how you need to look at everything is you need to put good stuff into your head, and you need to create confidence within yourself. And we'll bring guys in every day, couple guys in every single day to just talk about how they're doing away from the rink, see how family's doing. I think that the mental health portion is crucial because all these guys are playing at this level for a reason, and that's because they're fast, they're skilled, they defend hard, they can score. But what really kind of separates guys is when stuff gets down in the dumps, how do you react, and how do you react to adversity? And I think it's a big portion to why guys have success or don't have success in these types of leagues.
So, as who were some of your influences or guys you looked up to as a player, and now as you're into coaching?
Oh, that's a good one. Growing up, you guys might not like to hear this, but I grew up in Philly, so I was a Flyers fan.
Okay.
I always liked John LeClaire. I wore 10 all growing up.
Oh yeah.
And then, honestly, when I was in high school, Danny Briere was kind of my guy. And it just so happens that when I got traded here, Danny was our president. So I've gotten to know Danny really well. And it's kind of funny looking up to a guy when you're 15 to 18 years old and then eventually working under him. And he's kind of one of my big mentors now. I can go to him and talk to him constantly. But from a player standpoint, I always liked, like, when David Backus was at his best, that was kind of the player I tried to mold myself after. Jarrett Stoll, kind of that power forward type, was kind of the type of game that I like to play. And then in coaching, I've had so many good coaches that it's hard to pinpoint one. So you kind of try and pluck and pull from each one, and each coach has their pros and their cons. So you try to take what you remember from each one and kind of put it into how you feel you should attack the head coaching position.
I will say, Coach, that we, Smitty and I, played in a adult floor hockey league, and we were
Nice.
the Legion. We were the Legion of Doom. We
All
were.
right, nice.
You might have been Michael Remberg. I was more of a, John Leclerc. I think.
You were not a John.
I was not even by the least bit.
Yeah,
but we did like those guys.
You can't be John Leclerc and be 5'5". Sorry.
No. But I did go to Eric Lindros's first game at the Garden. My mother bought me tickets, and I went in. First time he was at the Garden, because Lindros was huge at the time.
Oh yeah,
huge. So yeah, that's fond memories of those teams, even though we're Bruins fans.
Yeah.
So just talking about some of these promotions and things you do. When in fact is Terrence Wallin bobblehead night? Tell me.
Oh man. I don't know. I don't know if that one's coming. I don't know that they would get approval for me, Bradley Mugg, to put on a bobblehead.
Right. I think Smitty can't do chuck-a-puck. He has this rotator cuff that keeps falling off.
I got some.
I've done some chuck-a-puck in the past.
I do think that if they did do the bobblehead, they'd have to do it with my 3 front teeth missing though.
There it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you got to tell us the story how that happened.
Right,
yeah. So it's funny. You play all these games, and I played 5 years pro, and it ends up happening in a practice.
No way.
No.
Really?
Yeah. So we had just made. It's actually a good story, and me and my buddy actually made a podcast we probably had 20 or so episodes, and that was kind of like the start of the podcast, was him knocking my teeth out. And it was right before Movember, so we were all growing mustaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it happened on November 1st. So it was always the joke that he was jealous of my mustache, so he would knock my teeth out. But it went from the top over to the flank, and it was a one-timer, and he knocked me straight in the teeth. My 2 front teeth popped out. The third one died and had to get pulled. So it's been a long road, and hopefully I can get some permanents put in here pretty soon.
They look really good. I had no idea. That thing fell out. I was like, whoa.
I pull a lot of people.
Little net front presence, huh?
Yeah,
you were in there just taking one for the team.
Yeah.
Heels in the paint.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah, A-frame in there. Yeah. And just one West question about Curtis Hall joined the team, 6 games, 4 goals. It was a Bruins draft pick in 18. I just talk a little bit about the type of player Hall is, and what you think his chances may be that maybe get an NHL look someday.
I mean, there's a reason he's on an NHL deal. You can't teach 6'4", 220.
Right. Sure.
And he's a smooth skating 6'4", 220 pounds. And at his best, he's long, he's physical, he's moving his feet, and he's honestly at this level for sure. He's a play driver, and what I can consider a play driver is a guy who can like push the pace of games and create on his own. So at this level, he's doing that. I think at the next level, he's more of kind of that power forward type. He needs to use that body to create his own time and space. And that's something that it's not easy to do, and not everybody gets it. But if Halsey can really learn to use his size and get to that net front and get to dirty areas, he has a chance of success, not only in Providence, but in Boston too. He just needs to find that hard piece to his game, and he can do it.
And the Bruins could use some young center development. I mean, they, with Bergeron leaving and Krejci leaving soon, and it's just that center position is something that I know that they've lost sleep over. Some probably going forward, and when those guys move on, they'll need to fill those positions. So we hope that Hall can move up and get a shot. Maine Mariners are home December 9th and 10th, and hey, Friday night December 9th is Pucks and Paws night. You can bring your furry friend on Friday night. Smitty, you don't
Saturday
have
night's margarita night.
Oh, well, I'll be at margarita night.
There's a double.
I'll bring my margarita. I don't know. I don't have a dog, but absolutely. Margaritaville night is the Margaritaville jerseys, an autograph session. So
you're going full 9 yards there.
Yeah, absolutely. You go, hey, the furry friend, and then some drinks. You can catch the Maine Mariners at marinersofmaine.com. Coach Wallin, really good to talk with you, buddy. Hope things go well for you guys, and we'll be keeping an eye out for you, and we'll come catch a game. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. Awesome.
Good stuff.
Sweet. Very good.
Yeah,
He was very good.
Right around
very
15
nice.
minutes, he was good. The story
Awesome.
about the teeth getting knocked out,
Love it.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
That's going up.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
you gotta,
going up.
you gotta go.
That's
You
going
gotta
up.
go with
Dropping
that.
the teeth. That's going up. No, that was good. No, he's cool.
Yeah,
He's very cool.
yeah, loved it.
Yeah, that went well. So very good.